Get it. Alright. Overwatch League, Stage 3, Week 3, Part 2. Previewing some matches for today and tomorrow. But first, we're going to talk about the matches that went down. So, Battle for LA. I am going to make a video about this matchup because it was really back and forth, and because I really took some issue with how the narrative of the game was changed by the casters and the analysts. So I'm going to make a video about that. Hopefully I'll be able to get it up so that I have the probably when I get back to school and actually have my Elgato. I'll link it up and then show you guys the videos, try to break it down, see why this went wrong there and why, because I disagreed with pretty much everything the casters and analysts said about that game. But anyway, yep, super back and forth. Valiant ended up winning, very close matchup, very distressing for me. The Gladiators, they were so close. They were so close to getting that 4-1 record on the stage. They would have been in great shape to make the stage playoffs. Now they're in trouble. And then going into some of the other games, we had the Shock beat the Fuel 4-0. Dynasty beat Shanghai 3-1. They rolled out some of their B squad, and they still ended up winning that one. Then yesterday we had Florida jumped ahead of Houston. They went up 1-0, and I was like, oh man, I didn't watch that, but I peeked in and I saw it was 1-0, and I was like, oh wow, Florida. But then Houston came back really strong, and they took the next 3 maps to take that one. Uprising beat the Spitfire 3-2. Amazing stalls by the Uprising on some points to save them the maps, and combination of Spitfire choking. That was insane. I could not believe that the Spitfire did not win that. They really should have, and they blew it. And they blew their playoff chance now. If they win out, they go 6-4, and I don't think that's going to be enough. So that was great for the Uprising. They were 5-0 on the stage somehow. And then the Excelsior reverse swept the Fusion again. Another very close matchup there. So we did have some very good matchups. A couple of them weren't quite as interesting as I thought they'd be, but yeah, still a couple good days. So for today, we got Philadelphia Fusion taking on San Fran Shock. So Fusion coming off that loss, they are now 3-2 on the stage. San Fran is now, wait, what are they on the stage now? They're 3-2. Yep, they're 3-2 as well. Coming off that win against the Fuel. So we got a lot of 3-2 teams battling it out for that last spot, pretty much. Because right now you got the Uprising, they're 5-0. Barring a collapse, they're in really good shape for the stage playoff. You got the Valiant, who are also 5-0. Same thing for them. Barring an epic collapse, they're pretty much going to make this stage playoff. And then at 3, you got the Excelsior, who are 4-1. They're in very good shape as well to make the stage playoffs. And then you have the Philadelphia at 3-2. You got Los Angeles Gladiators at 3-2. You got Seoul Dynasty at 3-2, and you have San Fran at 3-2. And then you have Houston at 2-3. They are still in it. They got to go on a big win streak, but they are still in it. And then London 1-4. They have a very, very slim chance of making it if they win out, but I'd say their chances are very, very bad. And then Fuel, no, they're not. They're obviously not going to make the playoff. And then Florida and Shanghai are both 0-5 on the stage. So, really important match for Fusion and Shock. They're playing on Volskaya, Blizzard World, Nepal, and then Route 66. So, I mean, it's crazy though. If the Shock win this game, they could jump like to 4th. But are they going to win this matchup? No, I don't think so. Philly is just a better team. The Shock, you can tell their coordination still isn't quite down with their new players coming in. I thought they made a really good decision though. I was impressed with their coaching that they decided to run Dante and Architect together. Made way more sense because Dante can play your Tracer and your Sombra very, very well, and then Architect is the Genji master. So when they're running comps like that, it makes way more sense than having Sinatra and Architect in there, who they're pretty much both kind of one tricks in a way. Like Architect Sombra really doesn't impress me. Sinatra, the only character besides Tracer that impresses me from him is Zarya. So I don't think having Dante or having Sinatra and Architect together is a good combination at all. I think that Architect and Dante, and then Dante and Sinatra, those are the combinations you got to go to. But with the Shock, it seems like it seems like Baby Bay has been totally like written off and replaced. He hasn't played in a while, and I don't know if he will. But I saw crazy news from IDDQD's stream, who he is also a DPS player for the Shock. He fills that hit scan role, same as Baby Bay. He can play Tracer well, but that's not what he would be doing with the team. He would be on McCree, he would be on Widow, he would be on Soldier, basically. And IDDQD, early on in Overwatch, he was one of those guys, like him and Sure4 and some other guys, were pretty much considered to be like the best players in the game. He was, like, IDDQD was the first guy that everyone was like, his aim is just so incredible. He said on his stream, and this could have been a troll, but based on his tone of voice and everything, it really didn't seem like he was trolling. He said that he finally got he got to participate in his first scrims, or he's going to be able to participate in his first scrims with the team. Which is, if this is true, absolutely huge. When I heard this, I just about jumped out of my seat. Whoops, I do not want to buy Overwatch League tokens. Absolutely insane news if this is true. Maybe eventually he'll play if he performs well in those scrims, and that would be amazing. Me and a ton of other people would really, really, really like to see IDDQD. With Widowmaker being so important, if they're just like writing off Baby Bay essentially, why not give IDDQD a chance? He's been with the team for a long time. If maybe he plays well with some of those guys. So that is going to be crazy to see what happens with that. I'm going to be trying to follow that as closely as I possibly can, and I will let you guys know if anything other than that arises. But anyway, does that matter in this matchup? The Fusion are definitely a better team. I think they win this matchup. But for San Fran, you do get Volskaya, which is a terrible map for Philly. It's not a great map for San Fran either, but it's one of the Fusion's worst maps, if not their worst map. So if you're San Fran, you gotta win this one. If you don't win this one, you got no chance in the series. If you win it, we'll see. I don't think they will though. I think Fusion take this one. I think it's actually a 4-0. Super needs to prove to me that he can play against these top tier teams, because last time he played against a very good team, his last couple of matches, it was terrible. Like, he had a good match against Dallas just 2 days ago, but really, it's Dallas. Yeah, he's got to perform against some of these top teams in order for me to be impressed with him. And then we'll see what they do with their DPS again. I mean, it's kind of like the rotating circuit. I don't know. We shall see. I did like what the Shock did though in their last matchup. I felt like their coaches really started to zone in on like, okay, these are our good combos. So we shall see. Let's see if because it was mostly Dante and Architect in the Dallas matchup with some Sinatra towards the end. So we'll see if they continue to do something like that, and we'll see how they hold up. This is a big test for the Shock. We'll see how they hold up against the Fusion. If they can really stand their ground and have a close matchup or even win, that would be absolutely huge for them. But I don't think it's going to happen. I like Philly taking all of these in relatively close, but I think they'll take all of these. They really need them for the stage playoff. So, second matchup, Florida Mayhem, Shanghai Dragons. 4-21 meets 0-25. They're playing on Volskaya, Blizzard World, Nepal, Route 66. So, pretty much everyone would agree Florida's a better team than Shanghai. They've been playing a lot of teams really close. Lots of close losses recently. They can't quite seem to get over that hump. They did play Logix a bit yesterday, which I thought was good. Still maybe a little too much of Tvik, in my opinion. But it was nice to actually just see Logic's back in. Obviously, they did lose. They ended up losing to the Outlaws, but I think they're looking a lot stronger than Shanghai is right now. A lot of people are predicting this is it, Shanghai. This is your best chance, at least until stage 4. They already played the Fuel. They already played the Shock. The only like bottom tier team that they have left to play against is Florida. So can they do it? They've been looking better. They played pretty well against the Dynasty. Guguri is showing she is legit. She is a legit diva player. One of the best in terms of bomb placement. She just always gets 1 or 2 people with her bombs, it seems like. And that is very impressive for Overwatch League. And everything else, it seems like she does well too. Otto's Genji is very good. I've been impressed with that. When he does have to go to Tracer, though, it needs work. Dia's been good on Tracer, but they also want him flexing on that Widow, which he's been impressive on. I've been very pleasantly surprised by Dia's performance on Widow. Fearless has been way better than Roshan ever was as main tank. Freefeel, I feel like, has improved his game a lot recently on the Zenyatta. 5 King, he does. I think he's a weak link. I think altering or Sky might be a better option. But I mean, there's signs of life. They did bring in Damon, but he has not played since like his first time ever since Dia came back, and Dia has performed very well. So maybe you have like Damon really practice that Tracer, or get somebody really involved in the Tracer. And then for like Tracer Widow maps, you can run that new player, but that player that's really been focusing on Tracer, you run him on Tracer, you run Dia on what was good for that map. So there have definitely been encouraging signs from Shanghai. I like Florida though. I really like this team. I think they're a lot better than their 4-21 record. I think they high with another loss. I could see this one going to 5 though. That would be very this and like I said, Dragons, they could win this. It's their best chance for the immediate future getting a win. This should be a fun one to watch, but I'm gonna go with the Mayhem 3-2. Now to the last matchup. We got 2 17-8 teams facing off. Got Boston Uprising, Seoul Dynasty. So never thought I'd say this, but Boston's been looking a lot better than Seoul recently. The maps that they're on are Volskaya, Blizzard World, Nepal, and then Route 66. So Volskaya, Boston is undefeated on. So when any team's playing Boston, you just got to look at the schedule and just hope like let's be playing on Anubis instead of Volskaya. But also, Seoul has looked way better on Volskaya than they have on Anubis. So we'll see. I think it's a strong map for both teams. Stronger for Boston though. This is their best map in the game. I do think they will take that first map at least. Then Blizzard World, I don't know, could go either way. I thought London was really outplaying Boston. Like those first 2 games were not that close at all. I mean, the second one was decently close, but Spitfire were pretty handily outplaying them, and then Uprising came storming back and just took the last 3. I really thought after Boston won on Helios, I was like, alright, yep, that makes sense, but Spitfire is going to close this one out on Junkertown, but Junkertown's kind of a weak map for them, and then once they were going to Game 5, I was like, uh-oh, Spitfire have not won a single game on Oasis. So, when they ended up losing that, it wasn't too surprising to me. So, I mean, Uprising just beat Spitfire. Can Seoul beat them? I honestly don't think so at this point. Seoul has not been that impressive. I think this is the match they have to win this for their team and to make a statement to get in position for the playoffs, because they're 3-2 right now. They lose this and go to 3-3, they're in trouble. They're in like win out situation. And Boston would be 6-0. So I really want to say Dynasty will win this, but I can't. I can't pick them right now. You gotta show me. You gotta show me, guys. I picked them to win stage 3. I said this is finally going to be their stage. They're going to put it together. They're going to show everybody why they're a real member of the three-headed monster. But I mean, they haven't looked that great this stage again. And the Spitfire are 1-4. It's crazy times right now. Uprising and Valiant are 5-0. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Uprising here, 3-1. I'm gonna be rooting for Dynasty though. I don't know why. I always root against Boston. I don't know why. I just something about them irks me. And the other thing, I'll talk about this like more in that separate video that I was talking about making. But the Valiant, the caster's saying the Valiant are the strongest team this stage. Are you kidding me? I just about threw my remote through the window when I heard that. Like, are you serious? How can you say that? They beat up on the Dynasty when they were throwing in their... It seemed like the players were putting their children into play for them, even though I'm sure most of the players don't have kids. But it seemed like they were just bringing in a bunch of platinums and playing. Like, they played that badly. Oh, you 4-0'd them. Great. You 4-0'd the Shock. It's not that impressive. They had their worst performance. Who else did you beat up on? Oh yeah, you 4-0'd Shanghai. Congrats. You barely beat Dallas. If Dallas doesn't make some stupid subs, you probably lose to them. You barely beat the Gladiators, who are kind of choke artists at this point. And the 2 maps you did lose to them, you got absolutely rolled and smoked. So, that's a joke. I was seriously so pissed when they said that Valiant are looking like the strongest team. I forget who it was, but one of the analysts, like, oh yeah, they're first in the standings. Who gives a damn if they're first in the standings? Are you kidding? Are you telling me the Valiant would beat Boston if they played them? Do you think they would beat full strength Seoul if they played them? Do you think they would beat Philadelphia if they played them? Do you think they would beat New York? Are you serious? They wouldn't even beat Houston. They shouldn't have beat Gladiators. Oh, I don't know if I've ever been so pissed at a fucking Overwatch League caster analyst when they said that. Unbelievable, looking like the strongest team. No, they have the best record. They are not the best team. Ugh, I cannot wait until the Valiant play some good teams. I cannot wait. Because the team, they got better team camaraderie? Sure, yep, way better. They got, their communication's better? Yep, agree, 100%. They're less toxic now within the team? Yep, seems like it. Everything's good. They're good guys. Great, I got nothing against the Valiant's players. But in terms of skill, are you kidding me? The Gladiators clearly outskilled them. But the Valiant played objectives better and worked as a team better. They do not have the skill to face off against any of the Korean teams that have the much higher mechanical skill than them, but also have really good team comms and team synergy, unlike teams like the Gladiators. Yeah, you gotta be kidding me. And here you go. This first matchup of tomorrow. Spitfire versus Valiant. Valiant are gonna roll Spitfire are going to roll and smoke the Valiant off the stage. Like, people have been going so nuts about Custa. Great guy for the team, totally agree. Good communication, good team leader, totally agree. Just good dude in general, totally agree. I like Custa a lot. But mechanically wise, one of the worst supports in the league. One of the worst. Guys like Agilities, he's pretty much the exception. His skill, way up there. Way up there. That man charges Dragon Blades in like 30 seconds. He's a monster. Absolute monster. Soon, very good, consistent player. He had a really bad match against the Gladiators, but normally really consistent, solid. Bunny, overhyped trash. What else they got? Space, good. Space is very good. I think he's getting overhyped a little bit, but he's very good. Fate, good. Very solid, good Winston. Nothing too special though. Kareev, good Zenyatta. Yeah, he's good. Not in the top 5. He's about middle ground for Zen. I think Badoshin from Spitfire is better. Jonak from Excelsior is clearly better. Shaz from Gladiators is better. Who else? Sleepy from Shock is better. Neko from Uprising is better. Raucous, you can make an argument. Jaehong, you can make an argument. Unko, yeah, I think Unko's better than Kariv. So, Boombox, probably. So, in terms of skill, the Valiant, they fall short. And you're going to see that when they play the top tier teams. They can beat the Gladiators in a close match. They can beat the Fuel in a close match. They can beat up on the Shock, the Dragons. They will not do the same to these teams, these guys. You will see that tomorrow. Spitfire will 4-0 if they really try. Otherwise, it'll be 3-1. It will not be that close. Valiant fans, you gotta taper your hopes. You're going to get crushed in the playoffs. I'm sorry to say it. And you might say this is just because I'm a Gladiator fan. Just because they just beat the Gladiators? No. This is what my eyes are seeing. I will, if they can, like, and even if they beat the Spitfire, because the Spitfire had such a bad stage, and because Birdring is in probably the worst slump of his career, and some other factors, maybe they, like, edge out the Spitfire. Maybe it's a really close match. But even if they beat them, it's like it's this Spitfire, this stage. That's not a huge indication. If the Valiant go into the playoffs and they, like, beat the Fusion, they beat the Excelsior, something like that, if they win Stage 3, I will gladly take it all back and say, yep, they proved me wrong. But watch this team. They're a good team. They're not a top team. So yeah, Spitfire in that one. I'll say 3-1 just because they've been so inconsistent this stage and because they suck at control maps. The London Spitfire, they need to figure out their control maps. They are totally horrible on them. But anyway, there's only one control map for the first 4, and it's a 3-1. So moving on. New York Excelsior facing off against the Gladiators. So the Excelsior, they went to 22-3 after their reverse sweep. Gladiators are now 13-12 after choking away a win against the Valiant. They're playing on Temple of Anubis, Blizzard World, Helios, and then Junkertown. It's a bad map pool for Gladiators. I think this one's a 4-0. Temple, the Gladiators' second point attack is just too weak. They have a really good defense on Temple. I think that New York will probably cap both points with little or no time left. I'm going to say. But then the Gladiators will take point 1 in about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and then they'll get stalled out on point 2, and Excelsior will win that one. I think Excelsior will probably score with barely any time left on Blizzard World. Gladiators will get really close to getting second checkpoint, but won't. Helios, that's probably just a 2-0 for Excelsior. That's one of their best maps in the game. The Gladiators are probably going to roll up some stupid lineup. And then Junkertown, maybe Gladiators going to take this one. They looked really good on it 2 days ago. But I could see the Excelsior taking that one. The Gladiators' only chance here is if they steal Blizzard World, because Blizzard World will probably be a closer one, and then if they can take Junkertown. They're not going to win Temple. They're not going to win Helios. They're probably going to roll up some stupid-ass lineup on a map or two that'll lose them the game. Never play Hydration on Sombra again. Just never play him on that. He's the third best Sombra on your team, and it's not even close. Surefour and Silk Thread are way better than him at that hero. I don't understand why he's in there playing that. If you're going to have him on a control map, have him play fucking Genji or Pharah, his best heroes, or Doomfist. I'd rather see him on Doomfist. I'm being totally honest here. So I take issue with some of the lineups the Gladiators had. Surefour was carrying, and then they took him out for map 5. Yeah, we're gonna throw in Astra and Hydration, even though Astra's probably had his worst map of this, or his worst match of the season. You could tell he was clearly out of it. He had terrible maps. I don't know if he was just rusty because he just got back from Korea, or if the reason he went to Korea was still weighing on him, so he just didn't perform well. But he had a terrible match. And if you're a Gladiator coach, you have to recognize that. Put in Surefour. He had such a good match. And play Hydration on one of his actually good heroes. Like, his positioning as Sombra is so stupid. He runs in front of people when he's invis. Run behind them and hack them. It's not hard. like I said, when I pull up the footage of that Valiant Gladiator match, I will point that out because it's unbelievable. You're invisible. They cannot see you. Go around them. Ay, ay, ay. So, yeah, I don't think Gladiators have much of a chance here. Maybe they take, fine, they take Junkertown. I'll say they take that one, but it's a 3-1. Excelsior, just a better team overall, in pretty much every way. And, I mean, they proved it. They're the top team, so they will get another win and improve to 5-1 on the stage. And then our final match of Stage 3, or not of Stage 3, of Week 3 of Stage 3. We got Houston Outlaws visiting Dallas Fuel. So, I think this is the second time they've faced. I don't think they played each other last stage, if I remember right. In Stage 1, the Outlaws absolutely destroyed the Fuel. That was a match that everyone was shocked about, and I think that was really the beginning of like the downfall of the Fuel, because like that was either the third or fourth match, I want to say, because they lost to Dynasty in a close match. They lost to Valiant, it was pretty close. I think it was their third match, and after that, when people were like, "Whoa, what's wrong with the Fuel?" And then it was the slippery slope, and all of a sudden they're 6-19. So they're playing on Volskaya, Blizzard World, Helios, and then Route 66. I mean, Outlaws are better in every way except tracer-wise. Effect is way better than any tracer the Outlaws have by such a long shot. Effect is also the best player overall in this series. That's the, when you talk about Dallas, that's their only edge. They have Effect, and then it's like, other than that, OGE, he's okay. Not better than, I don't think he's better than Factor Fiction or Muma. Siegel or Mickey, whoever they run in Diva, not nearly as good as Cool Matt. AKM versus Linkster in a Widow duel, don't make me fucking laugh. Linkster will destroy him 10 times out of 10. There's not even, ugh. AKM clearly can't play Genji. Looks like me out there. He can play Soldier really well. His Pharah, pretty underwhelming. So, I think Outlaws, and then supports-wise, they're decently even. I give the edge to Outlaws, though, a little bit, support-wise. Outlaws really need these wins. They are, like I said, they're trying to crawl back into contention for Stage 3 playoffs. Also, for overall playoffs, they're 7th right now. So they got to start making up some ground on these teams like the Valiant, Uprising, Spitfire, guys like that. So they need this win. They will get this win. I think a 3-1. Dallas will probably win one of them. I'm looking at maybe Route 66. Fuel are lucky they didn't get Junkertown. Let me tell you, if it was Junkertown, that'd be a guaranteed win for Outlaws on that map. But yeah, I think Fuel will find a way to win this one. They'll play it pretty close. They'll find a way to win a map, not this match. But Outlaws in the end, pretty easy 3-1, and they'll move to 3-3 overall. So yeah, on Sunday I will. My plan on Sunday then is to do a little stream talking about the recap. If anything surprises me about these matches, like I talked about in the last video. Hope you guys like that. I will probably post that on Sunday then, or Monday. It'll be a Sunday or Monday upload. So we start getting some more uploads in there. Also, I'm thinking about doing maybe like Sports Saturday or something, having a day where I do like maybe like an hour stream, something like that, just talking about what's happening in like some of the major sports. So like right now, I'd pretty much be talking about basketball, switch over to baseball, and then like when football is coming up, talk about that, like what I thought about some stuff, what I think about teams, what teams I like, blah blah blah. Let me know if you're interested in that at all, going from esports to real sports, because I watch a ton of sports. I know quite a bit about it, if I do say so, myself, or at least I think I do. And so yeah, if you want to hear my thoughts on sports teams, then let me know. It would pretty much be baseball, basketball, and football. I don't know a whole lot about the other sports. I don't know too much about hockey, so I wouldn't want to start spewing knowledge that I don't have. So yeah, let me know if you are interested in that at all. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, and see you in week 4 of Stage 3. Starting to get towards playoff time again.